Hi. Oh, I haven't done this in a while. Hi, my name is Emily. I am a faithful follower of Christ, and I'm addicted to sugar, flour, and binging. And the title of this video you can see is called I See. That's a little play on words, because what I'm really going to talk about is I see and ices, which doesn't that remind you of ice cream for ice cream? Ices. I-C-E-E. Are these all over the world? I've been aiming to remind myself that some of you all are across the globe, and some of the things I talk about may not make any sense. Does that ring a bell? Ices? Frozen. It's like a soft drink, but it's frozen. Like a slushie. Here's my point. Last night, I'm going to talk about this on my 10-minute video for October 3rd that'll be posted before 9 p.m. I had a bonus meal. And then I went to the movies with my kids and allowed myself to eat some popcorn. And I'm telling you, I'm sharing this with you because it did not feel like a slippery slope. It did not. My experience last night was not one of, well, here we go. Just one thing leading to the next. And I want to turn my car on for some air conditioning. But can you hear me? It was interesting. So the bonus meal, then the popcorn, and then with all this I have going on YouTube, I got up from the chair to go get the kids more popcorn, and the kids and myself, who am I kidding? And thought I wasn't feeling well. I was not feeling well at all, and thought, you know how sometimes a Sprite or a carbonated drink can kind of settle your stomach? I just wasn't feeling well, and icy sounded good, and it really seemed like it wasn't a temptation. I'm telling you, I'm sharing this with you. I don't have to go into all these details, but I will. I felt like I was supposed to get it, or that it was okay to get it. It wasn't a temptation. It wasn't a tally kind of thing. How strange for me to have an empty palm there. I wasn't earning a bunch of tallies. It didn't feel like that. It felt like an isolated icy incident. Say that 5 times fast. An isolated icy incident. Isolated icy incident. It was an isolated icy incident. That's all it was. An isolated icy incident. Isolated icy incident. So I went up to the counter and I was like, really, am I really going to do this? And I started thinking, this will be on my video. If I get an icy, you guys are going to hear about it. And I did. I just got my popcorn refill, and then I said, no, I'll take 3 medium ices, please. Which, by the way, I was really looking forward to surprising the girls, and I wasn't feeling well, so I thought, I'm going to have an icy, almost like a medicinal icy. Can I get away with that? No, probably not. Anyways, I went and sat down. Now, looking back, I can see why God had me go through this whole deal. I really do. I gave the girls their ices. They were thrilled. And I sat with mine and had a couple sips. Now, let me backtrack, and I will talk briefly about this on my video tonight. The bonus meal. If you've been watching my videos, I had a huge day Thursday. Huge. Big, huge. Pretty woman. I dropped the kids off at school, did not come home. Picked them up at 1 o'clock, did not go home. Ran in quick enough to eat my dinner, but we still went out, got home at 8:30. Huge day. Go, 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 go. Friday was very similar to that, where that was Friday and Saturday, not Thursday and Friday. Saturday was very similar. After a huge day Friday, and I usually like to alternate those days where you have one day where you run a lot and then one day where you're home. Saturday was another big day. Football, the whole Mammal experience. It's all on my October 2nd video. Super fun. You guys might think, oh my goodness, what is she thinking, when I got home and thought, I'm taking the kids to the movies. What a lot of people don't realize, if you have a bunch of kids like I do, is ironically to add more to your plate can be stress relieving. People were really surprised when I got 2 poodles instead of 1. But I tell people, look, when you have 5 kids instead of 1 or 2 kids, 2 poodles will be a stress reliever for me, because number 1, the poodles can play together, and number 2, the 5 kids will have 2 to play with. Sometimes when you have a lot on your plate, it's ironically easier and simpler and relieves stress to add more. So when I pulled in last night and it was 4 o'clock, my plan was to quickly eat dinner, quickly upload the video, take my kids to the 5 o'clock showing, watch the movie, come home and go to bed. My plan backfired because it took me a lot longer than 1 hour to get all my YouTube stuff done. After 5 o'clock, then it was like 5:30, and thought, oh my goodness, I've already committed to taking these kids to the movies. And the whole point was so that I could sit there in the dark, drink some water, my kids be happy, we'd be together, come home and go to bed at like 7:30. The movie started at 7:15, and you guys, maybe it's because I'm getting so old, but a 7:15 movie is late for me, right? Okay, I'm teasing. But last night it was. I had already committed to taking them to the movies, 7:15, and I realized I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy. So I gave myself a bonus meal. And then I decided, I haven't connected with my kids over food for a long time, but I thought popcorn with them sounds fine. I'm going to have a little popcorn. We won't break bread, we'll break grain. Popcorn's a grain, right? I just decided to have some popcorn. You'll see on my calendar, on my October calendar, green means I had a bonus meal, and then I just drew a piece of popcorn. I refuse to make this negative. With behavioral psychology, there's punishment and reinforcement. If you want to quit doing a behavior or keep doing a behavior. And for each one of these two, there's positive and negative, positive and negative. So you can add things to your life for positive reinforcement. You can take things away for positive reinforcement. Or you can add things to your life for punishment to make a behavior go away, or take things away for punishment to make things go away. This journey is positive reinforcement, and I insist on keeping it that way. So I had popcorn, period. I drew a little piece of popcorn. That's what I'm going to call that. I'm going to call it popcorn. Do I want to have popcorn every single day? No, that's why I drew a piece of popcorn, so I'll see. You know, I had popcorn that day. But when I got that icy and I sat down and started to take a few sips, I did start to think, how will I put this on my calendar? Should I just color the green in black? Because look, I'm having sugar. No sugar, no flour, no bending. That's my goal. Maybe I'll just put a big black square around it. And I took 2 sips of that icy. 2 or 3, maybe 4. A few sips of it. You know, an icy has a bubble top. I had just gotten down to the bottom. I mean, I was right there still in the bubble top, thinking through all this, and realized, ew. It doesn't even taste good. It tastes gross. Like frozen, slushy hummingbird food. It just tasted so sugary. And then I thought, I really don't want to deal with this on my calendar. I don't want anything negative on there because I'm going to frame my October calendar just like I framed my September calendar. I think I show you that in October 1st. My video. I framed it. I love it. I want to look at it and like looking at it. I don't want to look at it and see a record of my mistakes. God forgives us. I forgive myself. So I decided to stop. On the icy, I took a napkin, I rubbed it on the floor and put it in the icy. There will be a picture of that in my video for tonight. I stopped consuming it. So you know what I'm going to call that? I'm going to call it a couple sips of an icy, a few sips of an icy. I'm not even going to worry about it or count it. This is major progress. Major progress. I see that the cons have really outweighed the pros. I also see God. I see God in all of this. I used to be in a disciple group that my pastor led. He met with 5 of us every night, once a week for 1 year, and he had 3 questions. How is it with your soul? Where have you seen God this week? And what are your spiritual and missional goals? So I knew every Thursday I was going to have to answer that. In order to be able to answer where I have seen God, I needed to be looking for God throughout the week. And here's the beautiful thing. We're going to find what we're looking for. Matthew 7:7. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be opened for you. I see God in my life. I see him working. I say it's his provision. It can be his vision. I seek God in my life. I aim to be close with him. James 4:8, draw near to me and I will draw near to you. I see him because I'm looking for him. I seek him and find him because I'm seeking him. And again, bright line eating is a tool that I use to reach my goal. And my goal is to use that tool to find peace and freedom with my eating. I talk about this in my video called My Response to Michelle. The tool is not the goal. It's not my goal to use bright line eating perfectly. It's my goal to use bright line eating to get me to my goal, peace and freedom. And I'm there. I'm here. I'm at peace. With or without those sips of that icy, and with or without that popcorn. So I had a bonus meal, and I go into detail on that on my bonus meal video. I prefer the days where I don't have bonus meals. I've really come a long way, and I can tell transformation has taken place because I prefer the simplicity of days where I don't have a bonus meal. But I will definitely call last night the perfect storm of getting out of whack. And by the grace of God, today I'm back in whack. We want to be back in whack. I had 2 huge days. The tail end of the second one backfired on me, thinking I'd take these kids to the movies, come home and go to bed. Instead, I committed myself to the movies, missed the early show, took them to the late show. I also had 2 days of not drinking a lot of water because when I know I'm going to be running a lot of errands, I don't like to drink a lot of water. So I've had this in my car for a couple days. Look at that. Perfect storm. Dehydrated. Busy little bee. Bonus meal. And again, when we get tangled up with the substances or the behaviors that we're addicted to, there are very natural negative consequences. So I refuse to punish myself on this journey. I don't want to look at my October calendar and see black or X's or negative. I'm grateful I didn't drink the rest of that icy. I'm grateful to have come this far that I didn't want to. And like I've told you guys before, this is a tricky thing to navigate. I've told you all before, we can literally consume, we can eat whatever we want to eat. What we want to do in the big picture is to change what we're wanting. And that, we do that by seeing clearly, seeing these substances that we're addicted to for what they are. And they are deceitful. They are full of deceit. They're bright and shiny and very attractive, but they are full of false promises. They cannot give us what we're after. And I hear so many of you tell me how painful it is that you start eating and you can't stop. Absolutely. I've done that countless times because those things in this world cannot give us what only Jesus Christ can, which is a peace beyond understanding. Philippians 4:7. 1 John 4:4. He who is in me is greater than he who is in this world. And this world is trying to sell us all sorts of things. Let's don't buy into it. Let's don't buy it. Let's see it for what it is. It's insatiable. So I see, and by the grace of God, my eyes will continue to stay open. We want to be awake and aware. 1 Peter 5:7. Be aware. Be of sober mind. For the enemy is like a prowling lion, just waiting to devour. Let's stay awake and aware. And by the grace of God, I will continue to see ICs for what they are. Sugar, flour, binging, it's full of deceit. Know the truth. John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. That's it, you guys. I see God and I seek God. And I draw near to Him. And again, this will be on my video for tonight. But my whole experience with that icy, I believe I went through all of that to show you that I had a bonus meal, I had some popcorn, I had a few sips of an icy, and none of that is going to derail me mentally. There are some crystal basers out there. Susan Pierce Thompson calls people crystal basers that just began this journey and it was a crystal vase. And I could see how there would be people with personalities that could genuinely have crystal vases, because my husband could do that. He could just make a decision one day, and then his crystal vase wouldn't even be anything that he necessarily cared about. He probably has all sorts of crystal vases that he doesn't even set on the shelf and admire. I know he doesn't dust them. But for me to have crystal vases is a real danger zone, because I get distracted by the vase and think that maintaining the vase is my goal, maintaining the perfection is my goal, and it's not. So something like that last night, I believe God takes me through those experiences every once in a while to remind me that for me it's important that if I have any crystal vases, they are in pieces on the ground, because I want to be broken. I'm going to put this song below. I'm going to link it below. Sidewalk Prophets, keep making me. Make me broken. Make me weak. Make me lonely. So that He can do what He wants with me. He can put me back together the way He wants. And I'll keep turning to Him. But for me and my personality, it's a danger zone to have a crystal vase. And to take a couple sips of an icy every once in a while, or at least last night, is a very good thing for me to do. It's a healthy reminder that the tools are not the goals. The goal is peace and freedom that I have right now, that you can have right now. It takes a conscious effort to stay there. And by the grace of God, I will. And I'm so glad for you guys traveling with me. Your prayers are much appreciated, much needed, probably more than you can imagine. I love you all. We will talk again soon.